بالشكل المناسب.
دقيقتين أستاذ أحمد.
خلاص دقيقتين، أنا سلايدين على هالدقيقتين، كل سلايد على دقيقة.
توكل على الله.
التعليم رحلة طويلة، ما يبدأ من المدرسة تعليم حتى قبل المدرسة. التعليم من هو طفل يتعلم أساسيات من البيت، والتعليم عبارة مشاركة بين المجتمع وبين الأسرة وبين المدرسة، ولا بد من الأسرة أن أيضا تساهم بفعالية فيما يتعلق بالإعداد الجيد لأبنائها من خلال تأكيد على مهارات وغرس مهارات الكتابة لديهم والقراءة. عدم الأمانة الأكاديمية مثل ما تحدثنا سلوك موجود مستمر حتى قبل ما التعليم الإلكتروني. سمعنا نحن عن حادث في ألمانيا، الوزير الألماني بعد فترة طويلة هو أخذ دكتوراه، وما أنكر أنه هو أخذ مراجع، بس رسالة الدكتوراه يمكن فوق 75% ل 80 من مصادر مختلفة، ما هو اللي ضاف اللي شو ضاف. فبالتالي يعني هو الطرف النهائي أن نستغيل، نحن ما نبغى أن أبنائنا يوصلون إلى هذه المرحلة، وهاي ما تتم من خلال أنك أنت والله فقط تسوي تقنيات لاكتشاف عدم الأمانة الأكاديمية، لكن من خلال غرس هذا السلوك أن هذا الشيء غير جيد للطالب. وأخيرا المحتوى العربي، وهذا على المؤسسات والحكومة وعلى مراكز البحوث المساعدة في تطوير المحتوى العربي في الإنترنت. وشكرا بحسن استماعكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
نشكر الضيف على هذه المشاركة الثمينة. Now we have a presentation from Khawar Iqbal. She is from Supreme Council of Information and Communication Technology, Qatar. She will talk to us about share and grow. We are all in it together. نرحب بالأخت خوار إقبال من دولة قطر، من المجلس الأعلى للاتصالات وتكنولوجيا المعلومات. ستحدثنا عن مشاركة ونمو نحن جميعا معا في تكنولوجيا المعلومات.
Good morning, everyone. I feel privileged to be here. I feel privileged to be in this wonderful country. It's my first visit to Kuwait, and I feel privileged to be in this fantastic venue and at this wonderful conference. I work for the Supreme Council of Information Communication Technology in Qatar, ICT Qatar it's called, and I work for the ICT and Society Division. I have 4 areas of responsibility. One of them is e-education. And in e-education we are working on a number of programs, a number of projects, which I'd love to share with you all of them, but we don't have the time. I've only been given 15 minutes. But I would like to share 2 of them with you. And when I say share, I mean share. I just don't want to talk about them. I actually want to make these 2 projects available to you. So before I talk about those 2 projects, I really want to talk about developing a culture of sharing. We need to develop a culture of sharing. We don't have this. We have a culture of take, but we don't have a culture of give most of the time. There are resources that we develop in each country, and we put these resources in repositories, and we protect them with usernames and passwords, and we only make them available to our own schools, our own teachers, our own organizations. In the Arab countries, we have a shortage of Arabic content, and really it's about time we started sharing that content and making it available to each other, making it open. It helps in a number of ways. It helps economically, it saves time, it saves money, it saves a lot of effort We are putting a lot of effort into creating content, for example, that's culturally appropriate for our target group, making it available in Arabic. But we are holding it to ourselves, and we shouldn't. We should make it open. But with sharing comes this issue of copyright. Sharing is easy. We have the internet. Internet is full of information. And because the information is sitting there on the internet, someone has taken the initiative to put it up there. We assume it's available for us to download it as we please. Okay? And we do it. We do it all the time. You do it. I do it. We download documents. We copy, we paste, we reuse information. Because it's there and because we feel we have the right to do it. What we don't realize is that there is copyright law that's sitting there in the background that says anything that's produced by someone, any work that's created, a picture, a document, music, whatever, it has copyright. It belongs to that author. And only that author can give you the right to use it as you please. And copyright is such that you don't have to register information on a register somewhere like you do patents. Everything is copyrighted automatically, by default. Okay? So what we have is we have the internet on the one hand, readily, freely available, or readily available information that we think we can use as we please. On the other hand, we have the copyright law, which says actually you cannot use it unless the author gives you the right to use it. So we have this problem really that a lot of us don't realize that that problem exists until we get into trouble, until a legal action is taken against us because we're using something we shouldn't. What Creative Commons have done, and I don't know if any of you have heard of Creative Commons. Can I have a show of hands of who's heard of Creative Commons? A few. Creative Commons is a not-for-profit organization that is leading this movement on sharing. And what they are doing is they are helping countries to develop a set of licenses that are aligned to their copyright laws of that country, so that when information is uploaded onto the internet, one of these licenses can be attached to that information that makes it absolutely clear to the user what they can and cannot do with that information. So it's sort of modernizing copyright law, if you like. Copyright law still stays as it is. The internet stays as it is, but this is a mechanism for allowing us to put information on the internet and giving people rights to use it. And in Qatar, we are porting the Creative Commons licenses, and by porting, we mean that we will go through a process of aligning it with our copyright law. That doesn't mean that countries that only port Creative Commons licenses can use it. It means anybody can use a Creative Commons license and attach it to their work. If your country hasn't ported Creative Commons licenses, it means they haven't been legally tested. But it does mean that it's fairly sound because it's based on licenses that have been recognized in many other countries as being aligned to their copyright laws. So that's what Creative Commons does. And I would urge you to have a look at their website, creativecommons.org, just to learn a bit more about it. And get on this bandwagon of sharing. Whenever you produce something, attach a Creative Commons license to it. There are 6 Creative Commons licenses, and they have a combination of rights as to whether you can use it commercially, non-commercially, whether you can change the content or to use it as it is, and whether the content that you reproduce, the derivative of it, whether you can, whether that needs to be licensed or not. So there are 6 licenses, and the 7th one is you allow somebody to do whatever you want they want with your piece of work. So, okay. So why am I talking to you about Creative Commons and sharing? We believe that there is digital content available, not a lot, but there is some digital content available across many Arab countries in Arabic that's culturally appropriate, that is well used by schools. And we want to make this available to everybody. We don't want to go down a mission of creating new content, because people in Saudi Arabia are doing it, people in UAE are doing it, people in Kuwait probably are doing it also. Everybody is paying money, everybody is spending a lot of effort creating content, and it's sitting there. What we would like to do is we'd like to set up a portal in Qatar. We would like to make any content that's available in Qatar on this portal, and we are embarking on a number of programs. Our Supreme Education Council is developing content linked to our curriculum. We have a national digitization program that's going to start up soon, and we have a business incubation for digital content initiative starting also. So any content that we will produce, we will make accessible through this portal. And when I talk about content, I'm talking about content from small artifacts like images, like pictures, to learning objects, to whole lessons. We're talking about any kind of content that is available that can be used for education. And in previous presentations, people have talked about content. They've talked about content as being open source, content that is readily available, content that's commercially produced, and even this morning we've talked about content that's user-created. We are living in an information age, and now user-created content is the future. What peers produce, what peers use and find useful, other peers will use also. Okay? So we really want to build on the user-created content aspect of it. So on the one hand, I'm talking about content that we have in Qatar. On the other hand, this portal that we're going to produce is going to have content creation tools and allow users to create content. Now, we want teachers to create content in their own countries. We want teachers to upload their content on their learning management systems or whatever system they use. But if they don't have access to such tools or systems, we will provide it. And we will allow them to create content and put it on our portal. What we would like to do then is, it looks quite complicated, this structure, but it's rather simple. We have the users and the students who will create content. The blue box on the right-hand side is the portal that we will produce, and that portal will be almost like a search engine that allows teachers to search content across the different countries. And it will have tools to allow user-created content. Now, on the right-hand side, a lot of the information that I've talked about, because this is a diagram I used back in Qatar, is the content that we're going to be producing in Qatar. But right in the middle is one section that says International Content Repositories. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to open up any repositories that are available in other Arab countries and access them through this portal. So from a teacher's perspective, they would just go onto the portal and say, I want some resources for X subject for this age student, and hit the search button, and it will search all the repositories across all the different countries that have allowed us to access their content and make it available. Furthermore, it will allow users to rate the content, because there's no point in having 50 hits and not knowing which of those 50 to use. We will allow users to rate the content, similar to Amazon. Teachers use this, they liked it, this scored 4, and teachers who use this piece of content also use this one. So it will really help people to navigate to the most popular used resources. And we are developing a strategy for this right at this moment in time, and we would like to engage at least 2 GCC countries this year. And I would also be looking for people who are interested in this to have a look at our strategy, to give us some feedback. So I would welcome any volunteers to support on this, and my email will be on the last slide. The other tool, the other project I wanted to share with you quickly is called eMark. eMark is a tool for measuring e-maturity in a school. We believe it's the first of its kind in the Middle East. It's available both in English and in Arabic. And what the e-maturity tool allows you to do is to allow a school to self-assess its e-maturity level. Self-assess meaning they decide for themselves where they are at against particular aspects on a 5-point scale. The self-assessment can be done by